Bill Holt works as the volunteer coordinator for the Arkansas AIDS Foundation, but he is also a client.
I never got tested for HIV. When I got sick, I had already had full-blown. I've been full-blown ever since '98.
Friends told Bill early on to get tested for HIV, but like many people, he was afraid of the results from such testing.
I was afraid to take an HIV test because I knew people with HIV. I knew what they went through. I knew they lost everything. But what happened 6 years later, what happened? I lost everything. You know, I lost everything I had.
8 years after being diagnosed with full-blown AIDS, Bill is still going strong.
I mean, I feel good now. I mean, there's some day I can feel bad, some day I can feel good.
He emphasizes the changes in treatments over the last 20 years that enable people with HIV and AIDS to lead a normal life.
You do live longer. You got a better lifestyle. If it wasn't for the medicine, I wouldn't be here.
Bill stresses that while the medications make living with HIV and AIDS possible, education prior to infection is the real key to a long, healthy life.
Yes, people living longer, yes. And people is taking care of their body better. But why have it? Why go through what people had gone through? You know, people have to understand that there is more knowledge out there about HIV and AIDS than they've ever been. We got more doctors, we got more people that does know a little bit more about HIV and AIDS, and they need to listen. They need to understand that this is not nothing to mess with. This is real life. And real life is here today, you know, with HIV and AIDS. I don't want to have full-blown, but at least I'm living my life the way I want to.
Charles Sanchez grew up in Arizona. At the age of 19, he traveled to New York City to become an actor. His acting ambitions also led him to Los Angeles before eventually coming to Little Rock. Charles was tested regularly for HIV, but he never really paid much attention to the results.
I got tested about once a year, but it wasn't something I was real aggressive about, and especially someone who was doing some high-risk activities. That was really, really not smart.
Like Bill, Charles wasn't treated for HIV until the virus had become full-blown AIDS.
I don't know how long I've been sick. I don't know if I got it in New York. I don't know if I got it in LA. I don't know. But certainly I was doing some risky, scary things. My CD4 count was 4. I mean, in a normal person, it's like in the thousands. And mine was 4, which is pretty awful.
Charles spent the next month in the hospital, surrounded by friends and family, as he recovered and tried to come to grips with having AIDS.
I don't really believe that I knew or understood the depth of which that my family and my friends really, really banded together when I got sick and have really supported me since.
He became depressed early on. While in the hospital, he was visited by a friend who set him straight on life with AIDS.
A friend of mine came and saw me, and I was crying and telling him all this, and he goes, I think you have a really bad attitude, because we're not in 1986, and AIDS is not the same as it was 20 years ago, and you're not going to die. You're going to live with the medication. All you got to do is take care of yourself and take your meds and go see your doctor regularly and do all the things that they tell you to do, and you're going to be okay. And I think it changed my life that day, because I really went, yeah, you know, he's right.
Today, Charles continues to act. He's also taking a more proactive role in making sure others learn from his mistakes.
I have taken friends now to get tested as often as I can. I encourage that with people, and I encourage safe sex. I just really, really believe in that. It's such an easy thing to keep from getting, really. I tell people, it's kind of hard to get HIV. You have to kind of work at it. You know, you have to do stupid things. There are really only a couple ways to get it.
And the best way to make sure you are not infected is to get tested regularly.
Getting tested, as scary as it is, it's not as scary as being in the hospital. It's not as scary as not knowing if you're gonna live. That's scary. Having HIV is a scary thing, but it's a manageable thing. Obviously it is fatal. It's something that they don't have a cure for, but it's a manageable disease if you take care of yourself. I'm just lucky that I lived, because really I was so close to death, and I don't want that to happen to anybody else.